who welcomed
yes.
baby Sophia
Little baby
over
Sophia.
the weekend. I was texting the JJ, I know you were too, on Friday, Taylor, and then Saturday morning I woke up to the text. It was like 3:15 in the morning with the picture of sweet Sophia with
She
JJ.
is so precious.
So cute. So congrats to them. I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, there's nothing better. It's awesome. Congrats to Mama and the baby, born into a great family.
Yeah.
Congrats to JJ being a girl dad. Nothing better, man. Nothing better. Number one relationship in the world is a daddy's or girls and daddy's relationship,
Yeah.
I think. And mom, too. Don't forget, mom's important.
And the
Mom's
mom.
real important. But it's nice to have a loving father. Let's just say that.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And I always say part of the reason I work in sports is because growing up, my dad was so obsessed with sports.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it was
sure.
just always, I mean, the TV was on all the time, but it wasn't like movies and shows. It
Yeah.
was sports. And that's
Sports,
how
right.
obviously I am now.
Yeah, it's
I don't
always
watch a lot of
sports.
TV and movies, but I watch a ton of sports.
Mhm.
I heard him talk about the story because Blake is a Gator fan, but obviously he's a Miami fan. So they had the discussion that they wouldn't push either of the teams on the kid, and they'll let little baby Sophia decide on her own when it's time. And I'm like, that's a good way, but there's going to be a little like, here's the U. Do you know how to do this? Here's the
And
Gator chomp.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
It's
That's
funny.
right.
I don't know that if you heard the story last week, but I told JJ like I brought in diapers for the diaper drop, but then I had ordered a Miami onesie, not realizing that Blake was as big of a Gator fan, but it's
Yeah.
the family's much more the Gator fans, and so I literally hit cancel.
Never mind.
I'm not going to give you
Get
that.
involved
'cause-
in that.
Right. I don't want to start a family war by any means. But yeah, super
funny.
excited for all of them.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, also excited for Ryan Fox yesterday.
Oh.
You came
That was
close
wild.
to winning money on Cam Young.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I tell you what, if you don't believe in momentum, go watch that guy at the end. He had all the momentum in the world and he created it. It was unbelievable. When he had to go backwards from hitting the shot into the sand, you know, he just missed the edge or the lip, and then he had to go back. He just did birdie to tie it, and you're like, damn, what a drag. Like, you
Yeah.
got to give up a shot,
Yeah.
and you're so close. And then he bogeys it. He goes up and down, and then birdie, and then birdie. It was
Yeah, the
All
end
the
was
way
saw it
just,
coming.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a dummy because I had the opportunity to bail out at
You sure did.
$111. Look, here how it went
And what'd
down.
you put? 10?
Just 15.
15,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I had like $30 in my account. I'm like, I didn't even know it was there. You know, just hadn't done it in a while. And I was like, I'm gonna look. Oh, Cam's up. Yeah, mine's. Yeah, you know, who knows? Let's give $50. It had the best odds, and then I put 15 on Argentina because they had the best odds to win. The game, which obviously they did not. So, but it was still fun. I mean, I enjoyed. Look, the golf. I'm not a huge, as you know, golf fan, but that was exciting. Like that guy, he maybe because the rugby background, the New Zealand background, you know, maybe just I liked his persona or
Yeah.
whatever. But
And it was on earlier, which I think
Yeah.
is good for you.
Yeah. But I tell you what, that tee off on 18 after they had to pause it because whoever was causing the sting, I could just see him like, hurry up, man!
I'll hit him with the
I'm on a
club.
roll.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll here. Get out of the way, you know. But then he lined up and just that drive went right down him. Oh man,
And
that
he
was
plays so fast.
insane.
That's the
Yeah.
other thing that people love. Obviously, like
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler told him, like when I play with you, it doesn't even feel like
Yeah.
that I'm
Yeah.
playing with three people. It feels like just two because
Yeah.
you're so
So
fast,
quick.
which
Yeah.
that's good.
A lot
for
of
the
golfers
sport.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm,
And that's what,
absolutely.
I mean, the course was crazy, but that's one of the courses where it shows you how good these guys are at golf because every time they tee off, like you'd look and it's in the high
rough.
grass
Yeah, the
somewhere,
heather.
in the trees, it's somewhere, and then they redeem themselves like this, getting, not every time, but there were so many good shots out of those roughs, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Whew, those bunkers are insane." They're, I mean, I don't even know. Multiple guys had to have like one leg in and one leg out. I know Bryson had one where he was trying to do that, but it's wild. That course, I would shoot, I don't even know, like
I know.
400 on that thing.
Yeah.
They had a trio
Yeah.
of 62s, so it
It was
was
Ryan was
wild. I
one of
know.
them.
Yeah,
the
Ryan
winner
was certainly one of them. Which
Yeah.
we had the stat last week on Friday, Taylor, that only one player that had shot a 62 in a major out of only 5 had done it prior to this past weekend, but only one had ever gone on to win
win.
the major.
Right.
So now Ryan Fox became the second one
Oh,
to
that's
ever
cool.
do that.
Yep.
Yeah, with Xander Schauffele in 2024, I think was the other one.
and Sam Burns was the other guy, right? And he was up there
Yes.
for a while.
Yeah, he
finished,
was.
like,
Yeah. So
third
for
or
people who
second.
don't know, Tom picked Cam Young. You picked Taylor
Fleetwood.
picked Tommy Fleetwood, and I had Matt Fitzpatrick, who didn't make the cut. So I had to stop worrying on Friday. I'll be buying drinks on Wednesday. But Tom had texted us that he put $15 on Cam Young and wondered and asked the question if he should go ahead and cash out. And I said, yes, because we were on the beach with some friends and we had the conversation earlier and we had the conversation about it. And so our friend Greg is a big sports gambler. So I was like, I ran it by Brian. Brian said cash out. I ran it by Greg. Greg said cash out. And Tom said
I'm going
no.
for it.
So
well, you know, when he
so
bogeyed, then I was like, well, no, I'm not. You know what I mean? Because I still had a chance there. It wasn't 111. It dwindled down to like 80 something.
Okay.
And then I was like, yeah, just let
and you
it
sent it to
ride.
us. You could have won 107, I guess, minus the 15.
Or something, yeah. But I tell you what, that after his approach shot, you knew he was going to make the putt. I mean, although it slow rolled, I didn't know if he was going to get there, but it felt like his confidence was like, it was a straight shot. It looked like, up the hill a little bit.
And his putting was so good. That was one of the things, because there was a lot of guys missing. I mean, like 8-9 foot putts, just kind of looping around
Sam
the hole.
Burns.
And he hit him and Burns hit some like 20-30 foot putts where I was like, whew, that's what you want to do in those moments, and just stay steady too. And you could tell the whole time he was just relaxed.
Yeah, he was.
I didn't realize it was like right by Fleetwood's hometown too.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's kind of cool for him to get to play at home.
Yeah, and he finished 7 under, right? Yeah, he came on strong in the end.
He did.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys
good at
I
the
felt
end.
like, they made us all like just I feel like on the edge of our seats, right? Like it's at the end, it's like I don't know exactly who's going to win this,
Especially when they get to
Fox went on the
18,
roll.
because it
But
was just rough.
It was like, this is one of the more exciting majors that I feel like this is what makes people become golf fans. The World Cup final, maybe people who aren't soccer fans are not feeling the same way, but certainly the golf like had all the drama.
Yeah.
There was a lot, because I mean, starting with the Bryson stuff and all of that drama, and
that
then
was on Friday.
That was
during
Friday,
the show.
and so you had that. You had the leaderboard where it was so many at like 6, 7, 8. So there were a lot of guys moving up and down, and so that obviously adds some more attraction to people. But I think the guys that you wanted, like Scheffler was Scheffler was making a run towards it, and like all the guys that you kind of were in that moment, you'd expect to have that. The top of the leaderboard, the first 2 days were a bunch of names. I'm like, I don't even know who these guys are, but for the most part, and then by the end, you started seeing those more recognizable names climb up a little bit, but they pan to the camera and someone else is like in the woods trying to hit it over a tree, and then Scheffler had his moment too where he was trying to find his ball and he was like, I don't even know where it is. And so those, I think, if you're not a diehard golf fan, it does add some intrigue, because I think people like the heroes and villains type of mentality, and Bryson was definitely leaning into that villain side of things, so I think it helps add interest if you're just a casual watcher.
The video I saw with him, he did with his leg kind of clear it out.
He was stomping all over
You
it.
can't do that.
You can't do that.
He's got to know that, right?
I mean, he was maybe you can on Live, and he
that's what I was about to
play
say.
on the PGA Tour that often anymore. So maybe that's one of the things they allow. I don't know. I've never watched Live.
Like you should know.
Of course, you should know. Just like I should have known to take Scotty Scheffler.
None of
and
us
I
did
had
that,
him
though.
on the board available, and I chose not
because we put
to.
him back. We said we could this time.
And that's because he had just missed a cut. That was his 10th top 10.
Yeah.
Like
He made a run for a little bit. Siwoo Kim.
I know. I was
just
about to say
crumbled.
Siwoo. Yeah,
he did implode.
That one putt he just missed, that long one. If he makes that, who knows what happens?
Different,
but that's what makes that part, exciting.
For sure. Speaking of exciting, the amount of money that they've each made on tour this season, the PGA Tour money leaders. So the top 10, Akshay Bhatia has a little over $7 million.
Wow.
Jacob Bridgman, $7.4 million. Sam Burns, $7.5. Chris Gotterup, $7.7. Rory McIlroy is 6th. I would have thought he was higher than that at 8.5. Colin Morikawa also right over in there at 8.5 million. Wyndham Clark almost $10 million this season. Matt Fitzpatrick over
he can
13.
pay to fix that locker room.
Yeah, exactly. He fixed that a long time ago.
Yeah, right.
Fitzy is my guy that didn't even make the cut, 13.7 million. And then the top 2, Cameron Young and Scotty Scheffler. Cameron Young almost 14 million, and Scotty Scheffler almost 16 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
you could have been like, I actually meant Matt's brother.
Yeah,
the other
Alex. Didn't I just say Fitzpatrick? I didn't actually say a first name. I think that's fine. All right, let's get into a little bit of Rory and Bryson. Rory's comments on Bryson DeChambeau. I feel like that'll be interesting, so we'll do that coming up. Also, let you hear that final, or the only goal, I should say, from the World Cup match yesterday. We'll do all of that on this Big Chief Tire Monday. Taylor, you'll soon be heading to Big Chief Tire. They've got 6 locations. Around town. Taylor, get her new tires there. You can find them online. WeKeepJacksRollin.com. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Welcome to the jungle. We're too old till we die, baby.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Installed by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
ESPN unveiled its latest round of their FBI rankings heading into the football season, and the Gators check in at 18, right behind Penn State and just in front of Clemson. The SEC littered with highly ranked teams in the Football Power Index, including a half dozen Florida will face during the season. Number 2 Texas, number 5 Georgia, and 4 more in the top 20. The FBI has a total of 12 SEC schools in their top 25.
Jeff Prosser here. When you need new windows or doors, you want high-end quality without the middleman markup, and that's why I'm telling you about Cash Building Material. Same premium materials, same beautiful finishes, but at a price that actually makes sense for your home. No subcontractors, no runaround, just their own experienced crews who treat your house like it's theirs. If you want it done right, the first time, get a quote today. Thank me tomorrow. For windows and doors, search Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialist. I'm Robin, the owner. My team provides expert service done right the first time on all makes and models, plus a nationwide after warranty for total peace of mind. Action Transmission on Merrill Road. Get traction, call Action.
There's only one sport with games to bet every day the rest of the summer, and there's only one legal app to bet it. Bet baseball on Hard Rock Bet, your home to bet home runs, strikeouts, even the next at-bat. It's secure and regulated, so your money is safe. Step up to the plate with towering parlays that can turn a dollar bet into a max payout up to $2 million.
It's out of here!
Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Hear every headline, every quote, every coach, every answer dissected.
All right, let's do this.
It's Cash Building Material SEC Media Days. Brightened by Underwood Jewelers and AB Signs on 1010XL.
Everybody's doing it. ET's doing it. You know I'm doing it. Our business manager's doing it. I know our listeners are doing it. Listen up. St. Augustine Grass homeowners, TopDressing.com season is here. Michelle did it 4 weeks ago, and now she's saying, my grass kicks ass. Her words, not mine. But it's worth it, man. I came back from vacation this summer, and the lawn is looking lush green just like Ireland. Get to TopDressing.com today or call 888-850-1850 for your free estimate. TopDressing.com.
At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, care starts with listening, one-on-one consultations, clear answers, and a plan built around you. Our orthopedic surgeons, sports medicine physicians, and rehabilitation specialists work together to treat injuries, manage chronic pain, and restore strength and mobility. From your first check-in to your personalized treatment plan, everything is designed to help you move forward with confidence. Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, expert care, improving lives.
Nothing says all-American like a great meal and a great deal. MyGate Rewards members. Grab any roller grill favorite, Lay's brand chips, and an ice cold Pepsi or Gatorade, all for just $5.50. The all-American meal deal only at Gate. See store for details.
Nobody calls a service company hoping to hear they need thousands of dollars in repairs they weren't expecting. At Duck Duck Rooter, Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning, we keep it simple. Find the problem, explain the solution, provide a fair upfront price. No pressure, no scare tactics, no turning a simple service call into a sales presentation. Just honest recommendations and quality work from a local team that's earned the trust of homeowners across Northeast Florida. Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Looking for ways to save on your JEA bill? We're on it. When it comes to your utilities, the less you use, the more you can save. That's why JEA offers ways to help you manage your usage and avoid higher than expected bills. Use our online tools to monitor your usage throughout the month. Schedule a free irrigation or energy efficiency assessment and get personalized tips to save. And with JEA rebates, you can save when upgrading to more efficient equipment. Find more ways to save at JEA.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
I have not heard this song in a long time.
I think I might have put this on the playlist.
Okay.
All right.
I listen to this song often. I love this song.
It's probably at least 10 years, if not more,
Really?
since I've heard this song.
Well, that's what when I heard it, it was on a video, like a TikTok video, and it
Uh-huh.
was that where I was like, oh, I haven't heard this, and I used to love
Yeah.
this song back in my skate
Those
station
videos
days.
bring a lot of those songs back,
Mhm.
don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear my kids listening to them all the time.
It's funny because they still make videos, just no one watches them and
Yeah.
talks about them. And
Yeah,
they were
right.
such
That used to be
an
the
important
thing back in
fabric,
the day.
yeah,
Yeah.
of our
TRL after school.
Absolutely.
Jam.
Music world.
Yeah.
Countdown, top
Spring
20 video
break.
countdown.
I saw Carson Daly just played in that American
Oh,
Century
yeah.
Championship,
I saw that too.
and he did finish ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Sorry there, Trevor. But that's
Bummer.
okay. Yeah. All right. So in
just
just
win
a-
football games, Trevor. That's
Exactly.
That's right.
That's all we need.
all
We
we
will chat with Frank Frangie down in Tampa ahead of SEC Media Days. Well, it began today. Florida will actually meet with the media on Wednesday, so we'll talk to Frank and get the scenes that are there in about 15 minutes. But first, I want to talk more about that golf yesterday because Rory McIlroy did not mince words when it comes to Bryson DeChambeau. So we'll let you hear what he had to say.
So I was watching it live. I was up in the players' lounge watching it with a few other players, and as soon as he made the step into the ball, we all sort of looked at each other and were like, "That didn't seem right." And then when I heard that he was called in by the rules officials, I think it was pretty obvious for why. Yeah, I mean, I think there's no doubt that he improved the line of his backswing. So, and again, it's like whether it was careless or whether it was intentional, I don't think it matters. Hopefully it was careless. But I think the 2-shot penalty was justified for sure.
What do you think of the scenes after? Obviously, you guys were delayed getting your tee times as well because of it all going on.
Late night for everyone.
Yeah.
I won't pretend to be up here and defend Bryson. I'm not particularly fond of him. I think a lot of it's performative. I think a lot of it's for attention. And to hold the tournament hostage like that and have all of us, volunteers, players, everyone waiting on him to depart, I didn't feel like it was a great look.
Do you think he knew what he was doing?
Look, he's going to say, like, again, I'm not in his mind. I'm not in his, but it didn't look good.
Roy, is something like that, you think that happens out here more than we know and it just isn't viewed or seen? Or...
Yeah, it's hard, right? Like he's every shot is on camera. There's a lot of guys that play this week and the shots aren't on camera. So you can say that that's unfair or whatever, or it might happen more than it does, but it's obviously impossible to police everyone, and that's why it is for the most part a self-policing game. But I think when there is obvious evidence like there was last night, then obviously that's a different story.
So Rory McIlroy, basically, I'm not fond of Bryson DeChambeau. I didn't know that athletes were going to be that honest these days.
Yeah, Rory.
Us Irish mix like to pick fights, I guess. No, I don't, Rory kind of beats to his own drum. He don't care. He'll go out there and, saying that he's not too fond of him,
Them's fighting words.
That is. Where's Koepka? Isn't him and DeChambeau, aren't they the ones that have been fighting or brawling in the past?
They had in the past,
verbally?
had a rivalry that they went on social media, and everyone wonders if that's just because then they were going to make more money from it.
If you're a pro golfer watching that and you see him take his leg and knock down all those, what do you think? You're probably like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah,
like,
it's not allowed.
What are you doing? Like,
Right.
you can't improve your backswing like that, right? Or whatever he was trying to do. So I could see that. I mean, if he doesn't like him, he doesn't like him. You asked him the question. Sometimes, maybe you don't want to ask the question because you're going to get the answer from certain guys. But
I love that he was that candid.
Yeah. I mean, look, I like what Scheffler said. He's like, look, I've never known him to be a cheater, so I don't know. Kind of took the high road, I guess. But in that situation, you may want to just take the high road. I mean, they gave him a 2-stroke penalty. That had to hurt him quite a bit.
But then Bryson said, I might not play or I just won't play.
He'll
Like,
be
that's
a
the
baby
part.
for a second.
Yeah, that's the part where I feel like Rory's like, come on, man.
Yeah. A little. That's a
I agree
little.
with that. I
Well,
agree with
Rory's thrown his clubs into water multiple times, so he gets a little hot-headed at times too. I don't know if he can really speak on that, but I think that both. This is what I was talking about in the sense of like that villain, and people like that to have that in golf because golf is at times just people are boring and it's very like, okay, this is what you do and it's proper and it's this, and so when you get that kind of fieriness out of players, and whether it's on either side, whether it's Rory kind of retaliating in this, or some people, I mean, Bryson had a lot of fans out there throughout the weekend because I think some people are like, oh, that was, he was being a little facetious at moments. The next day he was like mocking it, like stepping around, making it seem like he was stepping on the grass. And so he was leaning into it. I think in that moment he was frustrated, and I don't think he did it on purpose, but it is something you have to be aware, and like you have to know the rules in that sense. And then he leaned so far into it that it was like, okay, what are we doing here? You know at this point that you did something wrong, and whether you did it on purpose or not, that's where, and Rory said that, was it careless or was it intentional? And he was like, I kind of hope it was careless and not intentional. But I do think in that sense, it's just then you're out there until 10:30 at night, and people couldn't leave because you wanted to, keep hitting balls, and whether it's frustration or you just trying to prove something. And I think as agent, because you could tell the mindset changed a little bit, because he did do the like, oh, I'm not playing tomorrow, and he was arguing, and then they go into the rules building or whatever it is. And he came back out, and it was a little more, he's smiling a little bit and talking. So I'm like, I'm sure his caddy, his agent, whoever was standing there was like, tone it down, just come back and play good golf tomorrow and people will shut up. And he, for the most part, did.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's it's an emotional game to begin with. If you're accused of cheating, which, that's an insinuation.
Yeah.
And look what he did. Kind of looked like he was, he shouldn't have been doing that. And then you go into, well, that defense mechanism and like, oh, just, I'm out of here if you think I'm a cheater, when deep down, you probably were cheating. Whether you meant to or not. I mean, I don't know if he was like, all right, I'm going to cheat here. Like nobody could see it. Maybe, I don't know what he was thinking. Obviously, he can't do that. And they gave him the penalty. And I like the advice he got. Just shut up and go play, man. But he came to his senses, whether it's through the agent or manager, whoever. He acted like a little baby early. And then he's like, all right, let's go. I'm just going to, go play some golf and hopefully have a good outing. And, he battled.
He did.
He battled.
Taylor, you were watching with one person who's a Bryson fan and one person who's not a Bryson fan.
So it's with my grandparents, and my grandpa cannot stand Bryson, and my grandma loves him. So the whole time they're going at it, I was cracking up. I honestly wish I got it on video of them going back and forth about this, because like every good shot, my grandma was like, yeah, there you go. And then every bad shot, my grandpa was like, yeah, F you, da, da, da. And then she would say something. He'd be like, why do you like this man? I don't get it. And then they were like going back and forth about these, and it was hilarious, but it was entertaining. It added to the entertainment level for me too because of that. And then obviously Scheffler with his was taking forever too, because he's like, are you gonna take the penalty shot, or are you gonna try and find your ball or whatever? And I'm like, okay, everyone got mad at Bryson for doing this yesterday, now Scheffler's doing it and no one's making as big of a deal. But it was probably some of the other stuff that was going on with Bryson, but it was fun. I mean, it added a lot of entertainment to the weekend that you weren't really expecting going into it.
What do they got left? They only have a few left, right?
That was the final major.
Yeah.
Major, right. But I mean, as far as other events.
Yeah, I'm sure I know there's one this weekend, because I think Scotty's playing
that's
in
what's going to be interesting, that the aftermath. Let's see what happens with Rory and
But like Bryson
DeChambeau.
won't play again until there's another major.
Okay,
because they can't. He's live, not PGA Tour.
Okay, there's where the rubber meets the road, right? That's why Rory doesn't like him.
Yeah, this weekend is the 3M Open in Minnesota, and I think I read that Scotty is playing in this one, which is interesting. Yeah, look, I don't have anything against Bryson DeChambeau, and I'm not necessarily pro Rory.
Either way.
For me, it just goes back to the splitting. And Rory was the face of the PGA Tour, and a lot of these guys that did leave, they took a ton of money, and Rory's someone that Liv tried to get.
Oh, yeah.
And would have paid him, if not more than John Rahm, at least similar to what John Rahm made. And he saw someone like a John Rahm tell everyone, I would never go to Liv.
Yeah.
And then completely be like, actually, no, the money is too good.
Yeah.
You make a ton of money on the PGA Tour. But either way, that's just where it goes back to for me. But yeah, every golfer, I'm sure, if you were to video every single shot that they'd take, at some point they throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah,
like at some point they all do. Even I'm sure Scotty Scheffler.
I do playing putt. So.
Oh my gosh! You
but
want
it
to
is
throw
how
the whole bag in the
I know.
pond, like
it is.
You have a bag of putt.
Watching how carefully some of them, like on Sunday, I can't remember who it was, but he was like moving this tiniest little twig, and like the rules official is like, "Be careful if the ball moves." And I'm like, they're so precise about those. But I also get a little confused about that. So I'm like, you can move entire things from around your ball, but he couldn't like step on the grass. So some of the stuff is weird too when it comes to the rules. But
yeah, well, I don't know. You can't better the lie, no matter what.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. But then you're moving pieces around the ball, and to me, that is bettering it. So that's why I was a little confused, because you're making the shot cleaner by moving those little twigs and grasses and stuff like that. But as long as the ball doesn't move in those
Right.
situations, you're fine.
That's an interesting take there. Yeah, I see
There was a
that.
couple times Sunday where I was like,
Yeah, if there's a twig in front of the ball, why do you get to move the twig?
Yeah.
Right? I wonder what they say on the text line. You know, like our
Let us
golfers.
know.
Like, seriously, that's a great point. I'm like, yeah, why? Because you
My
do. You
grandpa
get to move
was saying-
leaves, you get to move everything. You just can't touch the ball.
My grandpa was saying it's because like the swing, the backswing is what he was altering. Like you're not, because
in that
obviously like
case,
if the ball's
yeah.
against the tree, you can't move the tree to try and get your
Right.
swing better. You have to try and like get under the ball. So that's why. But to me, you are bettering your chances of hitting the ball if you're moving objects around the ball too, but they don't count that, I guess.
Yeah, right.
As long as the ball doesn't move.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad you mentioned the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, by the way. We have one person weighing in that girl dads are the best.
Yes.
And also love y'all. So thank you for that.
thank you.
And then I've seen patrons hold branches back and move boulders. I've seen players move pine straw and leaves. I've seen players
Yeah, that's
camp
what
down
I'm
the grass
confused.
out of their line. So yeah, how is it any different?
I was confused too.
We'll have to figure it out.
We are not golf experts on this show. We just
We'll
enjoy
have
it
to
from
ask
time
Josie.
to time. Yeah. And we
I was texting Joe over the weekend, like, why is this person doing this and he can, and what's going on with this? And Joe was doing another tournament, so he wasn't as locked in as he probably wanted to in some of those moments. And he was like, I wish I was watching. I'm hearing all the drama, but I'm calling, he was doing another tournament. So.
Well, there you
Oh,
have it.
yeah.
All right, let's get into a little World Cup action yesterday as Argentina lost to Spain 1-0. I thought Argentina was going to win, therefore they, of course, did not. And Spain only allowed one goal in all the tournament, but here's what that goal sounded like.
Poro chance to cross, hooks it in. Williams battling, knocks it down. It's free. It's a goal. It's Ferran Torres.
Felt terrible for that goal. He balled.
Oh, he was
all
insane.
He had
Game
the most
long.
saves ever in a World
Oh
Cup
my gosh, he was
final.
under onslaught. They were
Which is
coming
how you
after him
knew
all over
Spain
the
was
place.
going to score,
Score
at some
eventually,
point in time.
yeah.
And then
There was
when
like 18
Argentina-
shots on goal or
Yeah,
something.
when Argentina got the red card, it was like, okay, this is now inevitable.
He kept knocking. He was unbelievable. And then what do you call that? A putback when he blocks and then the other guy, they didn't block him off or something. Is that what happened?
Yeah,
And
I mean, when the keeper, the moment that
He
a keeper
blocks it,
doesn't,
then- right.
doesn't catch it, that's
Yeah.
always very dangerous.
Yeah.
Now, unless they're hitting it out of bounds,
Out of
yeah,
the way,
right. But then you can obviously get the corner at
Yeah.
that point in time.
Yeah.
So yeah, at that point, the keeper was in put himself in a precarious spot, and then that allowed the goal.
Spain was suffocating.
Yeah.
I mean, and their conditioning. I mean, everyone's in good shape.
Yeah, they didn't
but
stop.
They didn't stop the whole time. That was an unbelievable performance by them.
They're
How
younger than Argentina too, which certainly helps with
Yeah.
the fresh legs
Sure,
and things. And then
absolutely.
Lamine
But
Yamal, I
man.
thought he was going to score at one point in time too.
Mhm.
There down the stretch.
Oh yeah.
But I was glad it was in New Jersey and not Miami.
Oh, yeah. I kept waiting the whole time because they were running around so much. I was like, man, this is what I feel like Argentina has done through the tournament is they kind of sit back. They're a little, lax where you're like, what are they doing? And then next thing you know, the opposing team gets worn out because they're, constantly shooting and they're trying to defend. And the next thing you know, Argentina scores, Messi scores or has some good pass. And so I was like waiting for that moment and they just didn't slow down.
Yeah.
They just kept going. I was like, I honestly kind of liked it. And I know a lot of people, they want points and goals and scores and no matter what you're playing. But to me, it was kind of fun because there were a lot of shots on goals. There were, turnovers. You were seeing that type of stuff. So to me, honestly, the game was super exciting and
I'm
having
so proud
a tied
of you.
game.
Yeah.
I'm so proud
I was having a lot of fun watching that game. But I also am a person in most sports that I like defense. Like I like defense. I like watching good defenses. So to me, you talked about Spain being that coming into this, having one of the best defenses in the World Cup. And you saw that yesterday. And then they were able to just keep possession for pretty much the entire game. I think it was like 70% of the time they had the ball. So that helps.
Yeah, and that's exhausting
Yeah.
when you're a defensive
Yeah.
player. Did you watch the third place game on Saturday? Did either of you
Hell
catch that
no.
one?
I
Okay.
actually did watch it.
So England won 6-4 over
I saw
France.
that,
They were
yeah.
up 4-0.
It was wild, yeah.
4-0. And then France started to come back. But I decided that this was the equivalent, the college football equivalent of that game on Saturday. So remember Texas Tech and Oklahoma back in 2016? The quarterbacks were Baker Mayfield and Patrick
Oh,
Mahomes.
yeah.
The final score was Oklahoma 66, Texas Tech 59.
Yeah.
That was the equivalent to me, although that game actually mattered
Yeah.
for something. But Baker's stats, 545 yards, 7 touchdown passes,
Wow.
0 interceptions. But get this, just 27 of 36.
Wow.
He only attempted
Oh, so
36 passes and he
a lot of
completed
deep shots
27.
then,
I
yeah.
guess so. And then Patrick Mahomes, meanwhile, had 734 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. They asked him to throw the ball 88 times in that game. He completed 52 passes. So that to me was, I remember watching that. And that was insane. All right, speaking of college football, let's head down to Tampa. Say hello to Frank Frangie, who is there for SEC Media Days. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Ace Carline here for Atlantic Infinity, and yes, I'm still loving my new QX60. Right now, you can lease one or lock in just 1.9% financing for 60 months, and every new Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. No pressure, no games, just a great experience. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or the showroom near Atlantic and St. John's Bluff.
Helmets and Heels. It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
David Garrard here, and once again, I'm reporting good news about how good my knees are doing following PRP treatment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. For an old quarterback like me, my knees are in great shape.
You don't have to be a celebrity or a professional athlete to appreciate the everyday personal attention you'll receive at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. For any orthopedic need, call on the pros at SOS.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
When it comes to your home or business, experience matters. That's why every apprentice at Local 234, whether training in plumbing, pipe fitting, welding, or HVAC, must pass a rigorous county licensing exam before graduating. It's just one more way Local 234 ensures the next generation of skilled professionals is ready for the job. Before you hire anyone, ask if the work will be performed by a licensed journeyman. Local 234, make the right connection.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
Attention skilled electricians, are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, Jared Justice filling in for RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you as we head down to Tampa Town and say hello to one Frank Frangie live at SEC Media Days. Frank, how did you finally get this thing in your actual home state?
First 37 trips here, first home game, Lauren.
Right.
Okay?
It took a while.
36 road games, one home game. Okay, so we're on a roll now. So one in a row. And it's a great setup here for it. I mean, this Tampa Marriott right here on the water. In Channel Side here is gorgeous. Lauren, you've been to enough of these. They all kind of look the same once you get inside the hotel, right? And I think the league, for people that don't know, they did it in Birmingham forever. They started it in 1987, I think it was. They did it in Birmingham well into the mid-2000s, or the first 2005, 2006. Then they started moving it around. It went to Atlanta for a while. It's been in Dallas. It's been in Nashville, back to Atlanta. And now finally for the first time in the state of Florida. We heard it's going back to Nashville next year is what the talk is. So, but they finally moved it around. So a little bit of a home game, and this place sets up really well for it. It really does.
Frank, one of the conversation points obviously is going to be the SEC just trying to get another title with the Big Ten winning the last three. And I saw a quote from Eli Drinkwitz today saying a part of the reason the Big Ten has won the last three national titles is, and his quote said, when you don't play a non-conference A4 game. So do you think that is part of the reasoning, or do you think that the combination of NIL and portal and all of those things are starting to affect how this has looked recently?
Taylor, it's all of the above, but boy, Eli came guns a-flaring today now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he won he can't, and I'll be interested to see the only two coaches that have been up so far, Eli and Brent Venables, and Brent did not lean into it. Today it's Missouri, Oklahoma, Kentucky, and Tennessee, and the Kentucky and Tennessee coaches just got here. So, but he really, it was pretty clear, Taylor. He said, listen, the reason they're winning is we're not, because we're playing a better schedule. We play better teams. We play more good teams in the league. We agree to always play one Power 4 team out of the league. The Big Ten doesn't do that. Indiana didn't have to do that. Others don't have to do it, and that's why they've won the last three. Now I don't know if I completely agree with that. That's a little bit whiny probably, but the two big stories today, two or three big stories. The one big story was Eli Drinkwitz said, hey, that's why they're winning and we're not, which was really interesting. And the other part of the story, if you guys have followed this, Greg Sankey made it clear they don't agree with this Saving College Sports Act. And he said it's a very real possibility. He was asked that phrase, is it real? And he said it's a very real possibility that if they do things that the Big Ten and the SEC doesn't like, the SEC might just go do their own thing. And he was asked point blank, is it a threat or is it real? He said, no. He said that's a fair question, asked the right way. I believe it's very real. So those are the two storylines in the very early part of SEC Media Days.
Frank, great to have you on the show. Out of the four teams, two of them brought their QBs. The other two did not. Does that mean they haven't decided on a starting QB? Or is that, they just didn't want to bring him for whatever reason? Missouri didn't bring their guy, nor did Tennessee. What do you think about that?
I think you hit it, Tom. We had this talk at the handoff not long ago. I think they all should bring their quarterbacks. I really believe that. But I do understand if you have a legitimate quarterback battle going on, you send a message if you bring one and not the other. And you don't want to bring two. You only get to bring three guys. So I think every team you see that doesn't bring a quarterback here, Tom, really doesn't. Like Florida's not bringing a quarterback.
Right.
I think it's going to be Aaron Philo. I think my friend Chris Doring, who you're going to hear on the show today, thinks it's going to be Aaron Philo. But until it is Aaron Philo, he and Tramel Jones should have the same chance to win that job. So I think if you haven't picked a guy, you don't bring a guy. I will say this, Tom. Boy, there's a lot of buzz about this John Mateer guy from Oklahoma. He got hurt, and he got hurt last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we really never saw a healthy John Mateer. So again, you buzz about the people that have been here, and they were first up today. But but there's a lot of buzz about him. But I think I think if a team has a starting quarterback and knows who it is, they're obligated to bring him in. For the most part, they do.
Frank, my guess is that tomorrow Kirby Smart will be a little feisty. Do you get that sense?
Yeah, a little bit, and I can't wait to see that. One of the things we're talking, you'll hear us talk about, because we've got a lot of guests coming on the show today, Lauren. One of the things I'll talk about is how hard it is to hold on to that kind of dynasty, right? So Florida and Spurrier had it throughout the 90s. Then Saban and Alabama had it for a long stretch, won 6 titles. Now Kirby and Georgia have had it, 2 titles and a couple near misses, right? can they hold on to it, and are they slipping a little bit? And that's going to tick Kirby off, the thought that they may be slipping a little bit. And so, yeah, I think that is. I look forward to seeing. Kirby's always good here. He's funny. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He's really honest. He says stuff that ticks people off. He knows when he comes on with me, when he comes on with the Jacksonville folks, he's going to tick everybody off when he says Florida Georgia should be home and home, but he says it every year because that's what he believes, So, yeah, I think he will be. I'm interested to see him. I'm interested to talk to Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar, I'm a voter. I voted Gunnar third in the Heisman last year. I may be the only vote he got, but I think he's a really good player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him tomorrow too. So Georgia Day is coming up tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing some of the Bulldog folks.
Frank, there's 6 new SEC head coaches coming into the season. We've talked a lot about John Sumrall here for obvious reasons, and then the Lane Kiffin conversation is a part of it. But that group of guys, where is Sumrall fitting in the conversation as people you've talked to down there?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, Taylor, because there's so much change. You know that? Lane Kiffin gets all the attention. Sumrall gets a lot of attention because he's the Florida guy, and Florida's one of the more prominent schools. The guy that I think is a really good coach, and we'll see. I think Alex Golesh is a really good coach. I think Alex Golesh, who got the Auburn job, and it's interesting. He was headed to Arkansas, I think, and Sumrall was headed to Auburn, and Auburn kind of, after Kiffin went to LSU, it looked like Sumrall was going to Auburn all along. His wife went to Auburn. He's from Huntsville. That was almost sort of a done deal. And then when Florida quit hearing from Kiffin, Florida put the full court press on Sumrall, kind of stole him from Auburn. Auburn took their eye off the ball a little bit. Florida winds up with Sumrall, and Alex Golesh, who I think was going to go to Arkansas, now Ryan Silverfield's there, winds up at Auburn. I think Auburn might be one of the big winners in that thing. Now, look, I think LSU is going to be good and Florida's going to be good, but I think Alex Golesh is a really good coach. I'll be very interested to see now that he's got a big-time program on his hands, how he does. So, but you're right, it's a lot of newness here. That's kind of the buzz. We're in a new location, and there's new players because of the portal and new coaches, and it feels different, Taylor, for that reason than other SEC Media Days I've been to.
Frank Frangie live in Tampa here with us on Helmets and Heels. All right, Frank, which player out of the groups today through Thursday do you think will generate the most attention? Will it be Arch Manning, Trinidad Chambliss? Who do you think is going to lead it above all the rest?
Those two. Those are the two. Number one, they could finish first and second in the Heisman vote.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They could. I really like Gunnar Stockton. I think he's a terrific player. But for whatever reason, nobody, these Georgia quarterbacks, Stetson Bennett never got any credit. He won 2 damn national titles, I mean, 2 national titles, and he never got any credit because people think, the Georgia quarterback, he just, he's a game manager, and they've got all this talent, and he just makes enough plays to win. So I think Gunnar Stockton's good, but he's an under. Tom, you've seen Gunnar Stockton,
Oh,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Gunnar looks like he's a 51-year-old insurance agent.
Yeah,
he's
starting to something out there.
And he's starting to think about retirement. I mean, he had the receding hairline, I'm guessing, when he was in a junior high. And so, but he's a cool guy, and he's an understated guy. But, yeah, again, Mateer had a lot of buzz today, as you can imagine. But I think the real buzz will be about Arch. Even more than Trinidad Chambliss. Trinidad Chambliss is a really good player. But Arch Manning's a Manning. Can you imagine the people that are going to be following him around? I can remember when Peyton came to this thing as a senior, and the amount of people, it was in Birmingham, and the amount of people, Tom, that were following him around, we were laughing about it. We were laughing about the amount of people that are following around this 22-year-old college senior. And I think with Arch, it'll be that way this year as well.
Frank, when it was in Birmingham, obviously there were a ton of fans that would come. Is it like that in Tampa? Are there fans there?
None.
Okay.
None. Zero. It's funny. And again, they have it set up different, Lauren, where you can't, and as you know, in Birmingham, Radio Row was right there between the beginning of the hotel and the mall, right? So fans could just wander in anytime they wanted to, and then there's this big holding area at the beginning of the hotel, kind of where the lobby is, and that's where all the Alabama fans hung out. So, no, there is none of that. I haven't seen any fans. Now, again, we're on the second floor, and you can't get up here. So that they're not allowing fans around. But I thought maybe fans would be kind of milling about at the bottom of the staircase. There has not been this. Remember, we don't know how to do. Tampa doesn't know what this is. I can tell you. I'm staying. Suzanne came with me, and we're staying with my sister, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, who live about 25 minutes from here in the Brandon area, East Hillsborough area. And I was with them and their family and my nephew and a lot of folks last night. People aren't even sure what this is. Tom, these are sports fans going, what are you here? What are you here for? And there's not a game. No, there's not a game. There's a media day. So unlike Birmingham, where they start planning for this thing a month out, and every citizen in Birmingham can't wait for it, I'm not sure the people in Tampa know what this is yet.
Yeah.
So it's very, very different in that regard. It really is.
Good stuff. Well, I guess we can't ask you Jags questions. We've reached our maximum time frame. But what's coming up on your show later?
Yeah, we're going to some people that make the SEC go. Matt Moscona, who you know, your name will come up in the interview. I'll tell you that part. But Matt, I think Matt Moscona from Baton Rouge in New Orleans is one of the best radio guys in the country. His perspective, he is so good. He understands this league. He understands college sports. I mean, he's New York City good in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he will be on in the 5 o'clock hour. Chris Doring's going to join us in the 4 o'clock hour. Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football, got another book out. He'll be here, and no one's seen more SEC football than he has. And Matt Hayes is going to stop by. Matt and I are going to do a few segments together, so we'll be loaded up from 4 to 6. All SEC football. No, I can't wait for training camp, Lauren. But today it's all SEC football from here in Tampa.
Awesome. We'll have so much fun and keep bringing us that terrific content. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
All right, there he goes. Like we said, Kentucky, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Tennessee today. I would imagine that's kind of one of the lightest of the days. Tomorrow, Auburn, Georgia, South Carolina, Vanderbilt. Clark Lee, one year at SEC Media Days, said, I want to have the best team in all of college football. And we all laughed at him. And then certainly Vanderbilt's been really good the last few seasons. On Wednesday, Alabama, Florida, Ole Miss, Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to say
that's a good one. That's a good
day,
lineup right there.
especially considering Ole Miss got left at the altar, basically. And then Thursday, we wrap up Arkansas, LSU, Mississippi State, and Texas. So you're going to see Lane Kiffin, obviously, headlines everywhere. But Steve Sarkisian also expected to have a really good program, but he's also a guy that is not afraid to speak his mind.
And Tampa's got to have a lot of college fans, but they're a pro town. I mean, they had all the pro teams, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
Lightning and Hoover,
Bucks
Alabama,
rule that world.
Right.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But Hoover, Alabama is really where it was. It was outside of Birmingham. There's not a lot.
No,
I can't tell you that. I said that one time, and someone on the text line got mad at me. I was like, I'm just telling it like it is. There's a mall.
That's it.
That's literally
That's why they crowded to the media days. They're like, something's happening here.
Someone that was an Auburn fan brought their dog that was they spray painted the dog, and they did this every year, half orange and half navy blue.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
isn't that animal cruelty or something?
No, they said the dog.
There's dog paint.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure.
All right. More to do on the other side, including Tom's take. Don't go to our helmets and heels. 10 to next on 92.5 FM.
Summertime in your favorite city. 1010XL. Your summer station.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Hey, Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here, so don't wait for that first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems in those high winds. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to your own backyard. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Step inside Twin Peaks, warm wood, stone accent, and the mountain retreat vibe that hits the second you walk in. Massive TVs line up every wall, turning every seat into front row views of all the action. ET here, and I'm staying here for a while because of the smell of the wings, the burgers, and the 29-degree draft beer chills and frosted mugs like it's straight from the summer. The bar stays lively, and the Twin Peaks girls keep the whole place feeling fun and welcoming. For the ultimate sports lodge experience, it's always Twin Peaks. Eat, drink, scenic views.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, it's Matt Lennon with AB Signs. If you own a business, your best salesperson never calls in sick, never takes a day off, and works 24 hours a day, it's your sign. From vehicle graphics and fleet branding to storefront signage, banners, and decals, AB Signs helps your business attract attention and build credibility. If you're ready for your business to look more professional and generate more visibility, call Matt at AB Signs. We'll make your business impossible to ignore.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Thanks again to Frank Frangie for joining us down in Tampa Town. We've got a couple comments off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures I wanted to run through before we get to Tom's take. Good to hear you guys on the golf issue. The rules consider twigs and pebbles as loose impediments. They are not permanently attached to anything, even in the bunker. The grass Bryson trampled down was not loose. He deliberately trampled it to improve his backswing. The benefit of the doubt is thrown out when he did it a second time. He cheated, plain and simple.
Fair.
So there you have it.
Yeah.
If it's a loose impediment and also not alive, you're able to move it. If it's alive, don't.
Right. Well,
touch it.
you understand the rule, but I get what you're saying. Like,
You're improving your shot.
You're still improving your shot if you move a twig.
Yeah. Another comment from the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Stayed at one of the hotels this past weekend. This is in Tampa. And they got to see that sand structure that has SEC kickoff on it, which looks amazing.
It does. It looks really cool.
I've
Welcome
never
to Florida.
been. I've never been one to be able to do a really good sandcastle. I don't have that kind of patience.
Yeah,
but those things are amazing when you see a good one.
Yeah, just the drip castles.
Yeah, that's all I ever did.
The drip castles. Yeah.
I could really build out there.
I told you we went to the beach with friends and we were playing bocce. It was a very serious game of bocce to the point where I'm a little sore today.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
We were having to throw the ball kind of far and they're heavy. And I was like, man,
yeah.
when I woke up, I was like, I am so old. But it was a lot of fun. And it was hilarious too because our friend was like, we have a tape measure. So for certain times.
People are intense with that.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
But thanks to Brian, we won. Okay. Next time we play, I'll have Tom put money
Way
on
to go,
it.
Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Time now for Tom's take.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com. Or dial #law. That's all.
My take today on this beautiful Monday afternoon. A little redundant, but man, I really love where we live. Let me tell you what I saw today. So this morning in our front yard, saw this massive hawk stomping on something. I didn't know what it was. So I'm looking through the window because I don't want him to fly away. The dog eventually barked and it flew away. But it ate a lizard, like right there. I didn't know they ate lizards, number one. And number two, it was really cool how it did it. I was like, damn, now we've seen the hawk before. You see hawks all over the beach, right? See foxes, see all types of stuff. So that was number one. Number two, my wife and I went for a bike ride before the show. Like I had, about 3 hours to kill, had all my prep work done and moving on, and went for a bike ride for like 30 minutes. The whole way back was against the wind. So, of course, I was singing Bob Seger's Against the Wind
Of course.
the entire time. But what a fantastic place that we live in. So wherever you live in Jacksonville, it doesn't matter. we live in a great place because you can go outside, you can have a walk around the lake, you can have a walk downtown, over the river, through the bridge, and over to grandmother's house. You will go, and we'll hang out at the beach, lakes, whatever, ponds.
I
Stay
wish
out of
we
the
had
ponds. Yeah, stay out of the
Retention
ponds,
ponds.
please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish we had lakes with no critters in them.
Absolutely a great place to live. And, man, I hope I never have to leave. And that's my take today. Brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com, and Pound Law on your cell. That's all.
So Brian surfs, y'all know, and so we go to the beach a lot. And yesterday was the first time I think I've ever seen dolphin completely jump out of the water.
Oh, cool.
Multiple, you see the fins all the time.
Yeah.
But I have pictures that I'll show y'all, but literally completely full body out of the water,
So
jumping back in. It was awesome.
What beach do you go to? Like, what part of the beach?
So normally we go to Hannah Park.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes, because
okay,
that's
cool.
where
All
we
the
can
good
always find a
waves are?
parking spot, and usually the waves can
waves
be a
are
little bit
better?
better. Yeah, and I bring so much stuff to the beach that we
Yeah.
need a parking spot.
Yeah, sure.
We're not as light on our feet. Or
Can you
at least
park
I'm
on the
not.
beach? You know, I've never been to Hannah
no.
Park.
You cannot park on the beach at Hannah Park. You
Okay.
can at other places, like
Okay.
up in Fernandina and Huguenot. You can park on the beach there. Yeah.
New Smyrna
Areas
Beach used
down
to
in
have
New
the drive
Smyrna,
on,
yep,
the, on
you
the
can.
beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's areas in St. Augustine too, somewhere
Mhm.
south that you can
Yeah.
drive on the beach too.
Yeah.
That does help, like being able to
Oh.
get out on the beach and just take your stuff like
Yeah.
this rather than
Actually, you
having
know,
to lug it.
we were driving back from the store on A1A, and a family was crossing, in front of us at the cross, and the dad had this. He was on his bicycle, and he had this cart built in front, and he had all the chairs and all the stuff in front. And all he had to do was pedal, and I was like, damn, I need one of those because I'm holding it. You're not holding one, I'm holding it. I got the cooler
Through
over
the
my
soft
shoulder.
sand and
That's why we drive.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we drive.
Yeah.
We love to ride bikes.
Yeah. No, I know.
But when I'm going to the beach, I have my chair and
Oh,
a
so
cooler
much
and a
stuff.
speaker and umbrella nowadays too.
Totally.
Yeah,
Gotta have it all.
which is great. But yeah, I'll show you all the pictures of the dolphin.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
wait.
that's
I
cool.
love that.
I'd like to see
It was
that.
awesome.
Mhm.
All right, more to do on the other side, including Taylor's Tangent. That means we have lunch to give away. Don't go anywhere. It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I get it. You're here because you feel like something's missing. You got some longing for something more. We're gonna give you that thing.
1010XL, giving you something more.
You trusted a medical professional with your care. When that trust is broken, the results can be devastating. Medical error can leave patients and families facing unanswered questions and lifelong challenges. Founded in Jacksonville, Edwards & Raggets helps you understand and protect your legal rights after medical negligence. No fees unless you recover damages. We're here to help. Call 904-INJURED or visit 904injured.com.
Edwards and Raggets, offices Jacksonville.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Lauren Brooks here. If you're like most of us at 1010XL, you have a long list of things you want to get done around the house before football season begins. Do yourself a favor and make an appointment today to check out Closets by Design's new showroom on Phillips Highway, especially the incredible garage. Closets by Design can help turn any garage into a custom, organized space designed around your lifestyle and budget. Call 904-878-9393 to schedule your free in-home design consultation and get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and free installation. Or online, closetsbydesign.com.
Hey ladies, guess what's happening at Best Bet Jacksonville?
The Ladies International Poker Series?
You know it. The LIP Series returns to Best Bet Jacksonville July 31st to August 2nd for a weekend full of poker excitement.
And the weekend kicks off with the Lips Roundup on Friday, a Q&A with Linda Johnson and Jan Fisher on Saturday morning, and then the cards go in the air at 1 p.m. for the Lips Championship.
Don't forget, the guys are invited to play in the Kings and Queens event on Sunday at 1. Details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Get out of the city and into the woods and the water.
Gonna keep on working it.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show, Captain Kevin and Captain Kirk join Jeff Lageman.
I am shooting one today.
Get hooked Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $4,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting! I'm U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. The sound of a seatbelt. It's one of the most important sounds in our car. It means everyone is ready and everyone is safe. The more our kids see us put on our seatbelts, the more natural it is for them to put theirs on too. Make it a priority. Buckle up every time. Hear the sound? Make it a habit. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hi, this is Dale Murray with Murray Automotive Group in Stark and Kingsland. Save yourself from those big city dealers and their fast-talking mumbo-jumbo. No matter what your automotive need is, we've got you covered. Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and nobody beats our prices. I mean nobody. Shazam! Plus our exclusive 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty included on every qualified vehicle. And we'll trade anything from high heels to wagon wheels. Compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. Then come see me, Dale Murray. I'll be waiting for you. Shazam!
At the Y, there's no place like this place. More than just a gym, the YMCA is a community where support, connection, and your well-being come first. And now, getting started is easier than ever with Your Rate, an income-based, affordable membership designed to fit your lifestyle and your budget so you can focus on what really matters, feeling better, moving more, and connecting with others. Join today and discover a place where you truly belong. Learn more about Your Rate at fcymca.org.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. ESPN's Bill Barnwell went through a unique exercise constructing a 53-man roster made up of only backup players. Included on his, quote, all-backup team, end quote, were two members of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Starting at tackle on his team was Walker Little. The other Jaguars backup who was named the starter on his team is third-round rookie Jalen Husky. Right now, 93 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Topic Madness, Jared Justice hanging out with us all week. You just heard RJ Saunders on the update. I'm Lauren Brooks. Jared, you're laughing in there. I can't tell why.
That was too loud.
Oh. I didn't think it was too loud, but then again, every time we get in the car after I've been driving alone, it's very loud. The music is very loud. So apparently I like to listen to it.
Oh, your music. Yeah, music. I know. I get back into my car sometimes and it'll be the morning and I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
okay.
I
was
doing?
really jamming out last night.
I don't ever think it's that loud, but apparently it is. A couple comments at the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, going back to our conversation in the previous segment about the beach. One person said, I've been living at the beach all 46 years of my life. I saw a dolphin jump completely out of the water for the first time ever last week. I freaked out, would have thought I was 6 years old. Yeah. It really is. I showed y'all the video. Pictures. Yeah. So awesome. And then also, as far as driving on the beach, Porpoise Point, you can drive on in St. Augustine. Be careful, though. The cops watch everyone leave and know who might be drinking. So
yeah, they're really strict about drinks down there. I do.
Which makes perfect sense because I know the reason that people used to be not allowed, or the reason that people are no longer allowed to drive on the beach is there were incidents, obviously. And so, you certainly don't want that to happen. That's for sure. All right, let's talk about Taylor's Tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
I realize I have no idea what you were about to talk about.
It's a surprise.
It is.
So I'm going to talk about the Jags defense a little bit. As we're getting closer to camp, there's going to be a lot of things that we're looking at, and the sacks are something that we want to see more of, obviously. We talked a lot about pressures, and there's meaningful pressures, and we've had those conversations. We played the clip of Cam Jordan talking about some of the other things, how he's like, sometimes the sack is overrated because a guy can be really bad at everything else, but just get sacks, and you need it, to be a little bit more of a complete player. But we've talked about it all across this defensive line of just not quite getting enough of and how they can help each other too. When you talk about those interior guys and being able to get get that pass rush up the middle, how much that could potentially help Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker and the other pass rushers on the outside, and then that pass rush helping your secondary and your secondary helping your pass rush. We've talked about all of that. But I did see an interesting stat. Daniel Griffiths originally had posted, this was a tweet from back in February after the season was over, just talking about the pressures by position this last year and where that ranked in the NFL. And so then I saw a quote tweet of that talking about that, comparing that to a player who we've talked about a lot on this show as being one of the better ones. And Tommy, you broke down some of those numbers too. But Jaguars pressures by position this for the 2025 season. So there was the edge rushers were 7th, had the 7th most pressures in the NFL this last year with 171. The defensive tackles, 27th. They had 76. And so that's something that you need to see that number go. You're almost dead last when it comes to being able to get pressures from that defensive tackle position.
Come on, Rook, row.
Yeah, row. Linebackers were 2nd with 62 pressures. The defensive backs were 5th with 30%. So it's the one outlier. Everybody else, it was 2nd, 7th, and 5th, and those defensive tackles were 27th. And then Jaguars pressure percentage by position. Edge rushers were 16th. It was 12.2%. The defensive tackles were 23rd. The linebackers were 22nd, and the defensive backs were 18th. So that pressure percentage not as high when it comes to the amount. But then this stat is crazy. Jeffrey Simmons last year, 64 pressures by himself. The entire defensive tackle room for the Jags last year had 76. And so that's that number when you talk about the game changer that a player like Jeffrey Simmons, there's a lot of other good defensive tackles in the league right now too, but that's just something you really want to see take another step up. And Eric Armstead was hurt last year, so maybe a healthy Armstead, you do see a little bit more. Maybe you can have a rotation where you're getting some fresh guys out there and you do see some pressures from around. But I do think, to me, that's going to be one of the biggest things that you're not going to be really seeing it in camp, but early on in the season that I'm going to want to see pretty much immediately when you talk about being able to get that pressure from the inside.
Yeah, I mean, look, we need a healthy Eric. We need a healthy Trayvon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need a corner that can lock up the receiver on the outside and Travis Hunter, which I think immediately makes us that much better. And then we got to find who's next, you know, because out of a row or Regis or any one of those 4 young edges, somebody's got to be the guy. Maybe Gardeck, you know, who knows? Nickel, put him on the edge, let him stand up and go, move Trayvon down, give him a chance to rush the passer, you know? So that's critical. I mean, that you know, you look at, like, not to get back into the soccer, but Spain was suffocating.
Look at us. Yeah.
It was suffocating. You could tell every time that Argentina possessed the ball, they were on them, man. They couldn't do it. Even Messi, everyone's like, oh, he didn't take a shot. Like, he couldn't. They, like, converge on that little son of a bitch, like, so fast. Holy cow, it was unbelievable. I was really impressed by how they did that. But that's what we need on our defense, to suffocate. And you can only do it with a good pass rush. And if you get there if you do it 4, that's ideal. If you can't, you got to get there with 5.
Yeah.
If you don't get there with 5, then you better bring another guy and make it 6 and make sure somebody gets home to the QB. But I think that's one of the most critical storylines going into 26 is how does our defense close out games? How does our defense get the quarterback on the ground more? How does our defense suffocate that quarterback so he's got nowhere to go? You know, those pressure numbers and all that, we know that, you know, when you said 117, 100, I'm like, where'd they come from? I don't know where they came from. Whatever. That's the number. 171.
Well, that was just by the edge rushers, 171 pressures.
Yeah. Well, we
but
got to know
only a
that,
12.2 pressure percentage, though. So that's another thing too. Is like they were getting pressures, but the amount of times that they were actually the amount of snaps that you were supposed to be getting didn't quite correlate to being as good.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, the stats show and the eye test shows it wasn't good enough. It was good at times.
Yeah.
You know, there was. I mean, look, you know, the guys had good games at times, but not enough. Not enough to where you need to. If you want to be an elite defense, you got to have that pass rush.
Right. And
got to have it.
The only thing that was missing from this Jaguars defense last year were those sack numbers. They were incredibly good against the run. They had the second most takeaways in the league. If they had gotten the amount of sacks that they needed, we think they keep playing in the postseason.
Yeah.
And who knows what happens from there. But that was the one area that they just obviously could not get the quarterback down week in and week out. And we've talked about it too. The Jaguars had double-digit leads at times. That's when you're supposed to be able to get those sacks and rack those up. I mean, it took Josh Hines-Allen, into week 6 before he got, or past that before he got the record.
We waited a while to get that
That
record
weighed on
hit.
him, I think.
Yeah,
I think so
that weighed
too.
on him.
Yeah.
Right, to
He's
break
trying to
Tony
get-
Bracken's record.
Right.
And I think we talked about it a lot last year too. The Jaguars didn't face a ton of offenses that had super mobile quarterbacks. And then you get into the postseason, and when you face somebody like Josh Allen, he was able to score anytime he had the ball in his hands. And so when you look at the schedule this year, I mean, you talk about right away with a Bo Nix and what he's able to do with his legs, and Drake May, and you go through this list of guys. You're going to have a Justin Herbert. You're going to have a lot of guys Lamar Jackson, a lot of guys this year that do leave the pocket and can extend plays and are elusive. And so that's something that you need to see get better, because to your point, Tommy, if you're getting those pressures, but you're playing a guy like Lamar Jackson, that pressure doesn't matter because Lamar's going to run away from you and get a first down. That's what it looks like. And that's what Josh Allen did to them again in the postseason. So that is something that I think when you look at the last couple Super Bowls too, when you talk about Seattle and you talk about Philly and their defenses and how suffocating they were. Patrick Mahomes couldn't do anything against Philly that year because of what their defense was able to do. So that, not saying you automatically have to skyrocket to Seattle and Philly's level, because we're talking about two of the better defenses, but you definitely need to see more of that, or it is going to be difficult to close out some of these games when you're facing guys that can move the way Dart and Lamar and Bo and Caleb Williams. You've got a lot of those quarterbacks this year are going to be guys that can move.
Yeah, and look, I think overall they got to get better on third down on defense. They were at about 40%. You need that about 35, so not too far off. They were in the top, 15, maybe top 12 in that. There are a lot of ties in that. Fourth down's become so big now. You better be good on fourth down. I mean, everyone goes for it on freaking fourth down. So that's almost as important as the third down. And then just closing it out. Sacks, what they give you the ball back. They knock you out of field goal range.
Mm-hmm.
They make you punt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The pressures, you can hold them to the fourth down and they punt, but you know what I mean? When you pressure somebody and sack them, now they have to punt. They don't have a decision to make because they're too far out, So that's where it really – they just got to put people away. You know what I mean? You just got to put them away. And we talked about the run game being strong enough to put them away. The defense has got to be able to put them away. And if they get to that you get to that elite defense, championship defense, this team could go all the way to the Super Bowl without question. Now, granted, there's more things, too. Like, Trevor's got to have a great year. He's got to. He's got to keep moving forward. He's got to keep progressing. He's got to play like he did the last 8 weeks of last year. That's what he's got to play like. Maybe he can't get that every week, but 15 out of 17, 16 out of 17, he better be on point. He needs to be.
Yeah.
In order for this team to take it. But if we don't have that defense, we don't have that pass rush, like you're saying, Taylor, to knock them out, to bury him into the ground, to it's over. Like they have no chance of moving the football because we are suffocating that quarterback. They can't handle us. We've seen it. You've seen the other side of it when it happens. Like, oh my gosh, that guy can't do anything.
There's been a lot of offense.
Sam Darnold 2 years ago, right? Sam Darnold in the playoffs 2 years. They couldn't block anybody. He was under duress the entire time. Like, he can't do anything. That's what a championship defense should look like.
Yeah.
So that's what they got to aspire to be, in my opinion.
I totally agree. The Jaguars had 1 sack against the Bills. Josh Allen.
Right.
Yeah. Now,
right.
granted, the Bills also only had one sack.
Yeah.
But still, the week 8, by the way, is when it took Josh Hines Allen
Week
to break.
8,
Yeah.
half the year almost.
That was on his mind for sure.
It was,
But look again. He just got to keep doing what he does. Those sacks will come. He needs help. I think a lot of times you hear those pressure numbers. I think we've said this before. Like, he'd get a pressure and then nobody would do anything on the other side or in the middle, and it just like. You need your other guys. Like, you got to, I beat the tackle. I make him step up. Well, there better be a defensive tackle ready to hit him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if you make him step out, and I better be there. Or if I make him step up, the other guy coming from the other edge, he's got to clean him up.
And
Somebody's got to make a play here.
To your point earlier, Taylor, the secondary has to be able to cover, too. That was a big part of it last year, is there were wide open guys. So I'm sure that in watching the film, the defensive ends or the edge rushers are sitting there watching, like, if you had just been able to stick your coverage for like 0.2 more seconds, I would have had the sack at that point.
Yeah.
Well, you go back to Buffalo. Was it Shakir? He was 10 of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, he was covered sometime. I don't think he was wide open, but the throws were there and the catch was there, and he just ate you alive.
Yeah.
And the DBs are probably like, okay, well, if you didn't let them have 4 seconds to
That's
figure
right.
out where to go with the ball, then we'd have a different conversation too.
Hopefully they're not, fighting like
Yeah.
that week in and week out. But certainly, I'm sure there were times that I felt like the Jaguars, probably in like 2017 before they started winning, where the
Yeah.
Jaguars defense was probably like, we are doing all
Everything,
we can do.
yeah.
Could you guys please score
We
some
scored
points?
twice.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they
Well,
had a lot of defensive touchdowns.
And the off-ball zone's got to be, I need more
Tighten
press.
that up.
Yeah.
I need press. Can't give that receiver too
Right,
much
which
space.
if we're going to talk so much about year 2 with Liam Cohen, we of course talk about year
Camp.
2
Coach
with
Camp,
Coach
too.
Campanile. He
Absolutely.
was a first-year defensive coordinator, and look what they were able to do.
Right.
Now, add a little bit more to that. All right, we've got lunch to give away.
We do. Free lunch to Chick-fil-A. We have free lunch for 2. So give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 3, you get free lunch to Chick-fil-A today. Make sure to grab that peach milkshake too. Summer is winding down and it's only here for the summertime. So it's made with the real peaches and that ice cream dessert from Chick-fil-A. So perfect match for some chicken
Sounds like
sandwich
a
or chicken
date
nuggets.
there
I
for
know.
two. Come on.
I love
With
it.
a
Get 2
little
straws.
peach.
That's right. All right, Lauren Zelina waits on the other side. You're listening to Helmets and Heels. It's a big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them all over town, 6 locations around town. The Parman family does a phenomenal job. They've been taking care of my vehicles for years. We keep JacksRollin.com. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You know Dan Hicken.
Keep it simple, stupid.
And you know Jeff Prosser.
Let's talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks.
Mornings on the Drill.
So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good.
On 1010XL.
Hey, Hicken here, and you know I'm going to talk about skin. Yeah, it's hot outside, folks. The oven is on. Temps are in the 90s, and it's only getting hotter. I love the summer, but my skin doesn't. I do my best with dry fit shirts, big floppy hats, plenty of water. My secret weapon, though, the sunscreen. I use it regularly. Maybe you should as well. Look, I've also been seeing docs at Peaches Dermatology for years, and my skin thanks me for it. I'm telling you, it could save your life. Book your appointment today at peachesdermatology.com.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
If you can't wait for kickoff, tip-off, or the first pitch, get your Gator fix anytime with a Gator podcast channel. Exclusive Florida Gator content from 1010XL. Set up by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on the video and social channels of 1010XL.
Renewal by Anderson is celebrating America's 250th anniversary by giving $250 off every window and door. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. You're getting American craftsmanship and their signature service. This offer ends July 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. Are you looking for a remix on the original Chick-fil-A sandwich? The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is back for a limited time only this summer. It's a flavorful spin on a familiar favorite, created with Chick-fil-A chicken, a drizzle of honey, pickled jalapenos, and a spread of savory pimento cheese. This sandwich combines your favorite flavors with a new twist. Available for a limited time only, so stop by and enjoy the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich at Chick-fil-A today.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality product and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
If you can't wait for kickoff, tip-off, or the first pitch, get your Gator fix anytime with a Gator podcast channel. Exclusive Florida Gator content from 1010XL. Set up by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on the video and social channels of 1010XL. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
The Cash Building Material SEC Football Media Days coverage on 1010XL previews the upcoming SEC football season. Listen for interviews of coaches, players, and analysts as they give insight throughout the day on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You can't quite tell, but this is one Ella Langley.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that she's coming up. Time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
So Rex Ryan went to the Morgan Wallen, Ella Langley Morgan Wallen concert in Baltimore and tweeted out, "Look, I've been around football my whole life. I've coached in Baltimore, won a lot of games, and seen some incredible performances. But let me tell you something. Ella Langley had Baltimore in the palm of her hand tonight, as the kids say. I'm officially an Ella fella. I don't make the rules."
That's hilarious.
You don't love Rex Ryan?
What a dork. Who cares what you think about Ella Langley? I think she's great, too.
She
I
is
mean,
great.
she's awesome.
Having
weirdo.
been lucky
Kinda
enough
like Grandpa hitting on her or
I
something.
know. I was like a little creepy vibes a
Right
little
in the
bit.
palm of her hand.
I will say she's fantastic in concert.
Yeah.
But
I
I know what you mean as far as
Yeah.
that's concerned. But I just I wanted to mention
She
that.
is great. No doubt.
She's awesome. I told y'all she's coming to. In fact, Taylor, you had messaged me that it looked like she was hinting at coming to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Those tickets sold out faster than most shows I've ever tried to buy tickets for. So I guarantee you it's going to be one amazing night when she does come here in September. But in just 17 days from today, we have the Hall of Fame game.
Wow.
No way.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Wow.
17
days
How about it?
away. We have the Panthers and the Cardinals. They begin training camp this week because, of course, they start early. And I've got your class of 2026 Hall of Fame enshrinees. It will be Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, who's joined our show before,
Kuechly.
and Adam Vinatieri. And then also for the seniors committee, Roger Craig, the running back.
All right.
It's a good group.
That is
It is a
great
good group.
Good
yeah.
group.
Roger
And I like-
Craig was great.
I like that it's a smaller group, having
Yeah.
been to Canton,
Yeah.
Ohio. That
And
enshrinement
you have like 12
ceremony
people up there.
can last so long.
Well, especially when certain people won't stop talking.
Correct.
Yeah, you need a time limit on those speeches.
Agreed.
You know, come on, 10 minutes. Like,
Yes.
you can't get it done in 10 minutes.
45 minutes
Yeah.
for one
Jeez.
person
Yeah.
is way too long. But again,
Yeah.
that's speaking from experience of I was obviously honored to get to go.
Yeah.
But you only want to go for your person, and then
Yeah.
you want to be able
Yeah,
to
right.
go.
See
and
everybody
That's not
else's.
how it works. But I did see Lainey Wilson would perform a concert up there in Canton Sunday
cool.
night. They have a whole week of festivities. They call it Fan Fest. And
Yeah.
obviously most people focus on either the game, the Hall of Fame game, or the
Yeah.
actual enshrinement ceremony. But there's a ton to do there. But yeah, speaking of the NFL, I'm sure y'all saw the video. What on earth was Cam Scattaboo thinking?
Oh my goodness. Did you see the backflip, Tommy?
I did.
What an idiot.
Like you
He's like, here's my surgically repaired knee. It's doing great. Let me backflip.
ankle, but yeah,
Ankle. Yeah, ankle.
That's
And your
I
ankle
feel like
snapped.
that's even worse.
Yeah.
because you're landing right on said surgically repaired
Yeah.
ankle.
You know,
Yeah.
Giants fans are like,
I was like, thank God that's not a Jaguars player. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah, that's worse than, Trev getting squatted
I was
by
about
some
to say,
chick
people were
in peace.
freaking out about a squat. Trevor starts
He can
doing
fall down
backflips.
and break his wrist. That's what.
Right. No, that's not
But
what I
no.
said. That's what Taylor said.
All right, that's right. He can fall.
I said
The way he landed.
break his
didn't
wrist.
mind it. But speaking of Trevor Lawrence, I'm sure you also saw the picture that he posted on social media with a bunch
Yeah,
of
working
teammates.
out with a bunch of the team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Travis Hunter is, ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I saw
Oh, yeah.
somebody post a picture,
Should be.
even
He's
just
like
in his I know.
But nobody else had their shirt off. I don't know if you noticed. It was only Travis Hunter.
Yeah, he wanted to show that off.
That is correct.
Somebody posted just like year one, his headshot, like in the uniform, year 1, year 2, and even like the muscle, like his arm muscle, you could tell just in those pictures. Granted, he also had like higher sleeves on last year, so you couldn't really even see his arms as much, but he definitely looks like he's been focusing on which I guess you haven't been able to run and do that type of stuff, so you just work out a lot and lift weights and get strong.
He needed to put on some muscle.
I think most people would tend to agree with that. Yeah, but it also looks like what we talked about. Josh Hines-Allen looks like he's maybe a little bit.
LeQuint looks really
bigger.
good.
LeQuint looks awesome. Like we talked about on Friday, Taylor, when you were on vacation. The new episode of The Hunt dropped, and it's the Iron Jaguars games. And I love that stuff, so I have watched it more than once. I'm really addicted to it, but I did love getting to see certain guys, and Ruka Rororo is one of those guys that performed really well in those Iron Jaguars games. I'm also not talking about baseball, by the way, because the Rays were just swept in a 4-game series, by the Red Sox. So we won't talk about that, but we will talk more about the Jacksonville Jaguars in training camp. Number 55 in your hearts. Today we are 55 days away from the Jaguars season beginning.
That's crazy, by the way.
Yeah, training camp next week, but big number 55.
Get here before we know it.
Hey, it's gonna. I mean, those poor players that last weekend. It's just bye. The next thing you know, you're
holding on to it.
I mean, the moment the season ends, I'm sure you're already thinking like, okay, July something, I'm going to be reporting to training camp, and that's back in January.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
And that's what, especially for this team, it's interesting because we talk so much about how the rookies have it rough because the college season goes in, especially if you're in the playoffs, you're playing longer, and then it's pretty much combine, and then you're getting drafted, and then it's mini camps, and it's OTAs. You have that little 6-week period, and then you're playing. But some of those guys have to, like a Caleb Branshaw has to be kind of antsy. He's like, I haven't played football in a couple years at this point, like ready to get back on the field. Or Travis Hunter, we've seen just in OTAs how ready you could tell he is to get back on the field. So it'll be interesting to see some of those guys because it's pieces that you really were counting on, especially a Ransaw last year to come in. And, you saw Antonio Johnson take the step up, but then they draft a safety this year. So what exactly does that look like for you? They brought in Eric Murray last year. And so that guys like that have to be like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to get back in camp and be able to participate because he lost his whole season.
Yeah. You got to wonder if guys like him and others will report when the rookies report, get out there and get
that little extra time.
I would want to. It's only 4 days difference or 2 days difference. Yeah. So I would want to if it was me. By the way, I have some stats for tight ends that maybe we can get to today, if not tomorrow. But I read a story by Tim Walters of the Times-Union about Brenton Strange, and I learned a few things, so I wanted to pass those along. His mom had him when she was just 16. He says whenever he's stressed, he thinks about all his mom had to sacrifice in order for him to get to where he is today. He was a 4-year letterman and a 2-time captain for Parkersburg High School in West Virginia. He was named to USA Today's All-USA West Virginia football team in 2017, but I did not know that he played not just tight end, but defensive back.
Oh, I thought he played running back, too. He played DB.
Defensive back, Brenton Strange.
He's
what?
An athlete.
That blew my mind. So, in 2017, he was a first-team defensive back. In 2018, a first-team tight end. As a senior in 2018, he had 65 catches for a little over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. He also had 65 tackles, including 10 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, and 3 interceptions.
Nice.
Good for him.
Should we play him a little on the defensive side of the ball?
We have 2 two-way players.
Yeah. So he picked Penn State over Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Purdue.
Yeah. Wow.
I feel like had he not gone to Penn State, had he gone to either Ohio State or Notre Dame, people around here might
probably
have known more about him.
Especially Notre Dame pumps out tight ends too, so that already kind of registers.
Well, I don't think. Even like Parker, who had a good year or a good career at Penn State. I don't. Wasn't like that resonated around the nation.
Yeah. No.
It resonated up there. I think Brenton was kind of the same as well, but based on how they produced up there.
And if a team doesn't make the college football playoff, a lot of times you don't necessarily have them become household names and things like that. I mean, Brock Bowers was because Georgia was
Georgia,
and because he came on to the scene as a freshman, immediately you could tell he was going to be an NFL tight end. I mentioned I have some tight end stats. So for one, Brenton Strange, the Vegas odds are that he will catch 3.5 touchdowns, receiving touchdowns 3.5, and then receiving yards 600.5. More. 600.5.
Yeah,
More.
We're going over. I think we went over for everything with Trevor.
Yeah.
The touchdowns, the interceptions, the yards. And then we're also going to go over with Brenton Strange. By the way, since I mentioned Brock Bowers, his receiving yards odds are 925.5, receiving touchdowns 6.5, and receptions 90.5 for Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I'd go over the receiving yards for Brock Bowers at
What do they have
9.5.
McBride?
Stay healthy. He was hurt last
So
year.
Trey McBride, 105 catches, almost 1,000 yards, 999.5, and then 6.5 also for the touchdowns.
Okay.
I feel like
That's interesting.
I think he'd be over.
Me too.
You think
Touchdowns,
over,
anyway.
but you also have to wonder about the quarterback situation in
Yeah.
Arizona. And just because Brissett, yes, is still there, but if he's not the starting quarterback, what if another quarterback doesn't have that same chemistry with
Yeah.
Trey McBride? That's where I feel like it's trickier. You'd want to, like I'm some fantasy player, but I feel like you'd want to have the quarterback and pass catcher have the same consistency.
Be on the same, yeah.
But then again, look at Sam Darnold and-
169 targets for Trey McBride last year.
Yeah, I think Jacoby's going to win that job.
Yeah.
I mean, if they give him the fair shot, he,
And that's what's going to be fun. We'll get to follow along with those storylines this week.
Yeah,
because
he's
they're
just the
reporting early.
safest out of the three.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
Now,
like I
maybe
said,
Carson
catches the
goes in
ball.
there.
Mhm. Yeah.
If Carson goes in there and rips it up, then, yeah, of course, you got to play the young kid. But
right.
he's the more conservative.
Yeah, and especially coming off of what he did last year, that's part of it too. Is like that there was the small sample size, and that's why a lot of people are critiquing him, asking, kind of holding out and doing all the contract stuff. But at the same time, when you go back and you look at the numbers, if you are building off of that, then teams, you have to be a little bit optimistic if you're one of those fans. But yeah, you used a draft pick on Carson Beck, and then you have kind of this career backup guy, but that has come in and had sparks at times. But
lives
I
out
do
of his
think you
van.
probably go with the veteran to begin.
He doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, he does.
What'd you say? Oh, the
Lives out
van.
of
Lives out of his van.
No, he's married now.
Oh, well, he should have one of those awesome sprinter vans.
I mean, he probably has that, but I don't think he has to live out of it anymore.
Yeah,
and
drive
go
around the
into-
country just.
Yeah, but yeah, like
Rico,
Sam
Uncle
Darnold and
Rico.
Jackson Smith and Jigba, who would have thought that their connection would have been so good right away?
Yeah.
And so Justin Jefferson's like, I can catch from anyone that's going to throw the ball. But yeah, so we shall see when it comes to tight ends. All right, the golden moment awaits on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
When you listen to radio play-by-play, you don't just hear the game, you feel it.
This feel good. That feel good.
Get the most play-by-play on 1010XL, Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
This is Frank Frangie. Planning a summer road trip? Before you load up the family and hit the highway, make sure your tires are ready for the miles ahead. Big Chief Tire now offers special online-only tire pricing, giving you access to the best tire deals when you shop through their website. It's an easy way to save money and drive with confidence this summer. Shop online and schedule installation at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. Your next road trip starts with the right tires.
Jeff Prosser here. When you need new windows or doors, you want high-end quality without the middleman markup, and that's why I'm telling you about Cash Building Material. Same premium materials, same beautiful finishes, but at a price that actually makes sense for your home. No subcontractors, no runaround, just their own experienced crews who treat your house like it's theirs. If you want it done right, the first time, get a quote today. Thank me tomorrow. For windows and doors, search Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys Locksmith Service.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
America's turning 250, and Superior Fence and Rail is celebrating in true red, white, and blue style. For a limited time, save $250 on your new fence. Give your home the freedom, security, and curb appeal it deserves. Celebrate America with a fence built to last. Offer valid on new contracts for 100 linear feet or more. Cannot be combined with other offers.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. You've heard me talk about the Rolex my grandfather gave me for graduating from college, but there's something else you need to know about Rolex watches from an official Rolex jeweler for over 60 years. If you own a Rolex, probably today more than ever before, if you need that Rolex serviced, you should only visit an official Rolex jeweler. In North Florida, there are 4, with Underwood's 3 stores, and Mayors has 1. Anybody else claiming to work on Rolex has no direct access to parts, and the use of non-authentic Rolex parts jeopardizes your Rolex from both an authenticity and a value standpoint. At Underwoods, we have state-of-the-art Rolex repair shops, both designed and outfitted by Rolex and staffed by Rolex watch technicians trained by Rolex. And best of all, our shop is on premise, so your Rolex will never leave Jacksonville, and our Rolex repairs carry a 2-year warranty. At Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Golden moment, thanks to Frank Frangie for joining us earlier. He's down at SEC Media Day, so you'll hear a lot of good stuff coming from the Frangie Show this afternoon and some of the conversations that they'll have throughout the whole week. But I just saw one quote we talked with Frank about the 6 new SEC head coaches, one of those being Kentucky, who had hired Will Stein. So he mentioned, he says, Kentucky head coach Will Stein on why the Wildcats will win big in Lexington. And his quote said, "Because of me, to be honest, because of me." So that's good. They got a quarterback transfer this offseason, the Kenny Menchie kid, who was the Notre Dame backup actually for 3 years at Notre Dame. So he transferred there. Kid, a lot of people really like him, so we'll see how that ends up panning out. But yeah, that's putting a lot of confidence in yourself of changing that program.
Yeah, for sure. And then, like Frank talked about with Eli Drinkwitz, the Missouri head coach, who we know that he can be a little feisty from time to time, but he said that the Big Ten's title run has an unfair advantage because the Big Ten schools are not required to play a non-conference Power 4 opponent. I don't really understand why a coach is saying this. Like, I think that Greg Sankey can maybe speak to this kind of stuff a little bit more, the commissioner, than a coach. But however you look at it, the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, all the big Power 4 schools, the Big 12, they all need to have the same rules. It's not that difficult. You just need to have a fair playing advantage. I would like to see an NIL cap, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, they all should have to play either 8 or 9 conference games and then have to play a non-conference Power 4 game. To me, that's not that difficult. I mean, it's difficult, but if they all have the same rules, then it's not difficult.
That's how you get a true national champion.
Right. Yeah.
Without anyone saying, well, what about this? What about them playing another game or not playing? You know what I mean? Yeah, get them all on the same page. I don't know why you wouldn't want that. Like golf. And I can see,
because it's a more challenging game instead of a cupcake.
Yeah.
Florida has 2 cupcakes, and then the other 10 are all Power 4 games. Obviously, the non-conference against Florida State. The last couple of years, they've had Florida State and Miami.
Yeah.
Which was a tough road to hoe. That obviously.
Well, what do you guys say? How many? What should it be? Like 9 conference games or 8 conference games? And
I'm
then
okay with
one
8
Power
conference
4?
games and then the non-conference Power 4. I'm okay with that.
Gotta have that.
But because right now you've got the SEC teams that are playing the 9 conference games because that's what the Big Ten said they should have to do. But then the SEC is still mandating the non-conference Power 4 opponent. That the Big Ten is not. Right. So they're saying that it needs to be level, or Drinkwitz is saying. I don't know if the other coaches
Especially those 2 conferences should get on the same page.
And that's
Big
why
Ten
Greg
and
Sankey
SEC,
has
yeah.
said that it's not a threat, but it's a real possibility that the SEC could potentially do its own thing because they don't want to abide by certain other conferences' rules.
Yeah.
Need to get NCAA commission there, to tell
we've
everyone
all been
to
saying that for
shush
a
up.
long
And this
It
is how we're
should be
doing it.
even at the end of the day, whether you want the 8 or 9 and how that looks. And honestly, there might be years when you do that and your schedule's not that difficult because
Sure.
you're not talking about every SEC team and Big Ten team being really good. We know that.
Yeah, we had Indiana on the schedule a few years ago. That was an easy game.
Very
And then
different.
the very next year, Indiana's
and then it
power.
can change that quickly when you
Right.
talk about Florida State, the year they went undefeated, you talk about, kind of undefeated. You talk about that year, and now you're talking about one of the worst college football programs. So it's like you schedule these things ahead of time, and then it's like, okay, well, when we scheduled them, they were a top 10 program, and then now things just kind of falling apart. And we've seen multiple examples of that. But just consistency and the conferences doing the same thing, I think, is what people want for the most part. At least that's what I'm seeing, and that's kind of what it seems like Drink is saying too.
And Notre Dame's like, hold my beer, because all we do are schedule Power Four conference, or not conference, but Power Four opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then that's
absolutely.
when some people would say Notre Dame needs to join a conference, or BYU and other schools that are independent need to join conferences. And there's just everyone's out to get what's best for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's also part of the problem.
Not what's best for college ball.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
think
we're
some
here
of the,
for.
But definitely not the even commissioner. We've heard
yeah.
the way that Sankey talks. Sankey's about the SEC. That's what he cares about.
That's what
his
he's paid to
job.
do.
Yeah.
that's his job.
But because of that, you don't see them wanting, you see them disagree on a lot of things because they want what is best for their specific conference, not
Correct.
what's best for college football as a whole.
Yep.
From the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures 904-641-1010. We love all the comments that y'all provide. Give me a 4-team college football playoff again.
Okay.
I would be fine with going. They're never going to, by the way,
no.
because
I
it
don't
makes more
want that
money.
personally.
But
Can't
yeah,
go back now.
I would be fine with the 4-team. I'd be fine with an 8-team. I don't want it to go past 12. I feel like 12 is plenty. And if they get to 24, good grief.
Yeah, 24 I don't want. I like 12. I wouldn't mind
16
16.
is a possibility.
Yeah. I personally like. I think we've seen why we talked about the expansion in the first place. It gives other schools that maybe you weren't previously even going to make the college that top 4 and they win or they go deep into the college football playoff. So I do think it's opened, and then the moment you do that, those schools can recruit better because they're actually on the map and they have a chance to get to the college football playoff, when before it was like the same 4 teams all the time, and that's why the same 4 teams we felt like kept winning, or at least in groups of time. It was like, here's the 4 for this decade, here's the 4 for this decade, and I just don't, it's uneven. It didn't work. If you don't feel like you have a chance to go to the college football playoff if there's only 4 teams, then it's going to be harder to recruit. It's going to be harder to get portal guys. But if they feel like there's just that chance to get into the 12 or 16, then they're like, hey, well, I can sit on the bench at Georgia, or I can go start at Indiana, and that's how Indiana started to build this too.
I mean, and that was the problem with the 4 back then, is the preseason rankings.
Yeah.
If you coasted through, you're never going to drop, and then the guys that are undefeated that started out at 11 or 10, they're having a tough time getting, you know what I mean? So
I just don't like
know.
that we went from 4 to 12. I feel like
I
if you
kinda
want
feel
to
like 8's probably
expand,
the
go from
best,
4 to
but-
8, see
Slowly
how
go
things
up,
go.
yeah.
If you want to expand again, okay, then go to 12. But then you wouldn't have these talks of 24 teams. That just feels like
24 is too much.
yeah, every Saturday is supposed to be like live or die, right?
Mhm.
Like that is the most important Saturday all season long, and that's why college football is special. It's different from the NFL. You can lose in the NFL and obviously still make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Lose
Well,
more than once easily and make the playoffs.
They really screwed it up last year, allowing those 2, whoever it was, was it
The
Tulane?
non-power 4 group of
Yeah.
5.
I mean, come on. To not have Notre Dame, not have you know what I mean? That just didn't make any sense to me.
Well, now
I
they
don't
will
care,
if they're
the
ranked
whole
in the 12. So
What's that?
Notre Dame, they changed it this year to where if Notre Dame's ranked in the top 12, they get an auto bid.
Yeah.
So they're trying to figure out ways to make sure that the best possible 12 teams are in there. But we're always going to see that the off chance that whoever wins the ACC, right now you've got some good ACC teams, so it's a little bit different. But there's been periods of time where they probably wouldn't have an ACC team in there.
Yeah, to me, there's a way to do it to where you get the best possible football, and it's not worry about the conference championships anymore.
Mhm.
You're literally going to finish the regular season, and then you are in the playoffs.
Playoffs, yeah.
Let's say if your record is 9-3 or 10-2 or better than that, and then we're going to take those teams. If your record is 9+, we'll say 9 wins plus, you make the college football playoff. As if you are going to be the team that's going to eventually land in the spot of the championship, right? Like you have to, I guess, talk about, I guess there still has to be subjectivity.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is it's not black and white. But if we can get everyone's schedules to align,
Yeah.
then
Right.
you are
It'll be
talking
easier,
about
at least.
teams that can absolutely win the national title. Tulane couldn't win the national title last year.
Yeah.
The
JMU.
TCU
And not
team
basing
one year.
it off the preseason rankings too.
Right.
We've talked about that,
Right.
waiting to put those first rankings until like a month
Yeah.
into football or something, and then it gives you a more realistic look at what it could,
Yeah,
because
who are
right
the
now
top
they're like,
teams,
okay, well
yeah.
this team they've had 3 when they played that team, they were ranked, and that was week 2. Okay, well that team is unranked now, so that wasn't a good win anymore. And so I do think some of those things end up hurting teams down the stretch, and we saw that last year.
Yeah, there's 14 teams that make the postseason in the NFL, right? Because they expanded it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's if 14 is
32.
good enough for the NFL, then
Yeah.
that's, and I know there are more
Lot
college
more teams
teams,
No, I
in
know.
college, yeah.
but there's just so many that I feel like cannot win the national championship. But if we can level the playing field and make all the rules the same,
The same.
Yeah.
then
That's the
we're-
biggest point.
Right.
Is get it
Yeah.
consistent.
It's like common sense.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Just do it.
right.
You know?
Yeah, I think like maybe the top 4 teams out of each conference, and then group of 5, you're probably not in that, and
Yeah.
then you throw in a couple of the independent schools, and
Yeah.
there you have it.
Yeah.
All right, more to do on the other side. 1 segment to go. It's 10 to next on 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care. Official dental partner of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Frank Frangie here. Employee pricing for everyone is back at Nimnik Buick GMC this month only. Take advantage of employee pricing on 2026 GMC Sierra light-duty trucks with the largest selection of trucks in the area. Why shop anywhere else? Shop online at nimnikbuickgmc.com or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. Largest selection, better prices, best interest rate, all at nimnikbuickgmc.com. Nobody but Nimnik. GMC, we are professional grade.
Helmets and heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Hey, I know how awful it is to get injured out there, but never due to someone else's negligence like many of you. Tom McManus here. If this speaks to you directly, check out Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. Over 1,100 lawyers, over 100 offices across the land with over $30 billion recovered for all their clients. They don't get a single dime unless you do. That's a proven track record with backup, if you ask me. Hard to find these days, no doubt, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. You get injured due to someone's neglect, you get paid. Dial pound law in your cell or check out forthepeople.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hey, I'll be home in about 10 minutes. Actually, make it 8.
Hey, Mom. Yep, I'm walking home now. Mom, I'm trying to cross, but I don't think this driver sees me. No, they're driving too fast. Mom!
Speeding catches up with you. Early, on time, a little late, just get there safely. A message from the Florida Department of Transportation's Target Zero initiative.
The Golf Club at Southampton is super excited for what's next, and that's brand new greens and plenty more to add to your golfing experience. While renovations are underway, you can still come out, hit the practice area, and keep your game sharp. Plus Thursday night's trivia, always fun, and music on Friday nights on the patio. Check it all out at golfsouthampton.com or their Facebook page. Membership opportunities right now where you can take advantage of a great deal before the renovation is complete. Call 287-PLAY and check out the latest from the Golf Club at Southampton.
Frank Frangie here for my friends at Coil Fencing. You've heard me talk about our Bragan baseball complex with walk-off charities, and we needed a batter's eye. Nobody knew how to do it. Coil figured it out, and it is great. Since then, Coil & Sons has completed hundreds of projects, including most recently our football fields at Fort Family Park. The bottom line is they do everything. They do it well. It looks great. I trust Coil & Sons. You can too. Since 1927, they've been getting it right. CoilJacks.com, C-O-Y-L-E, Jacks.com. That's where you find them. A proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical.
providing unsurpassed quality. Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trust a company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't
Back
flinch.
to Boston and we're jumping the gun, and I'm telling you, baby, this the part I'd run, but I like it when you're nice, like it when you're nice to me.
Taylor Dahl, Topic Manus, Jared Justice filling in for RJ Saunders all week with us. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. By the way, we started the show with that song Love You Down. I did a little research. It was originally released in October of 1986 by an R&B band called Ready for the World. And then the artist
did like the remake.
Yeah, then the artist that we played covered it. Inaj?
Yeah, I
I-N-O-G?
think that's how you say it. Yeah.
Inaj? I don't know.
Yeah, me
Yeah, I
either.
don't know that one.
Just that's
Yeah.
the one.
I-N-O-G.
That was the one?
J,
That's the
yeah.
one who we listened to. Was
Yeah.
INOG.
It's like the dance, more
Yeah.
dancey version of
Yeah,
it.
that was
Right.
debuted in 1997.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Music history on Hummus and
You know I love me some music
know
history.
It. Yeah, same.
We have to learn more about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a cool tune. Everyone listening, I was like, what tune are they talking about? We can't remember the title of it, but it was really cool.
good.
It was good. It brought back memories. That's for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly what it was called either because we didn't get to the chorus part. I'm much better
Right.
once I can hear
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
chorus part of it.
It's like Let Me Love You Down, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, Love You Down.
Love You
Yeah,
Down.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. We're going to head back to Frank Frangie here down in Tampa Town, and let's talk some more media days with him.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Frank, has anyone asked for your autograph yet?
Not one, doggone it. I mean, I've even walked around with a Sharpie just in case. Boy, nobody wants one. I mean, you bring your own Sharpie, Tommy, to this kind of stuff.
That's
know?
right.
So-
You're like John Daly.
Exactly right. So I know they haven't, but it's a quiet day today. This was obviously it was Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kentucky. I just sat in on Josh Heupel's meeting with the gathered media, the big media, and there's just not a lot of other than John Mateer and does he come back healthy. There's just not a lot of storylines with those specific teams. Will Stein, of course, is a new coach, but he's a former coordinator at Oregon. So no autographs, and it's kind of cool. This is one of the quietest first days I can remember in all the years coming here. They kind of, as you guys said when I got off earlier, they kind of lumped all the good stuff together later on.
Yeah, for sure. What did you think of Ryan Fox winning the Open yesterday?
Ryan, some dude from New Zealand. I didn't know who he was. Some dude from New Zealand wins the Open. I thought about this. I said, other than media days, obviously camp's right around the corner. We had on you'll be proud of me, Lauren. We had the World Cup on at my brother-in-law's house last night.
Nice.
So there was that. Okay. I don't know. I really didn't know what I was watching. I thought it was never going to end, by the way.
Yeah, I don't love the extra time's not sudden death. I wish it was.
Agreed.
Yeah, and here's how smart I am. When they scored, I looked at my brother-in-law and go, finally, it's over. And then realized it wasn't. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I was a sports expert in the house now. Okay. All right. Now it's over. Well, it wasn't over. So, But yeah, between Ryan Fox winning that and a lot, and obviously the end of the World Cup, Spain winning a lot of international news. So yeah, I was surprised by Ryan Fox, no question about it. But we got a fun show coming up today, Lauren and Tom and Taylor. We got fun stuff. Chris Doring's going to join us in the first hour of the show. He's always fantastic. Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart, always also in the first hour of the show. He's got a really cool book coming out. It's called Mr. College Football: 50 Years of the SEC, and he's seen about all of it. Okay, so he'll certainly talk about that. And Matt Moscona, who's so good the second hour. Matt Hayes is going to be in and out with us. Brett McMurphy, we think, a little bit later on as well. So we are loaded up here. Got a lot of fun stuff. Day one from SEC Media Days here in Tampa.
Sounds good. And I guess Joey Aguilar wishes he was maybe being brought to Tampa and wasn't in Jacksonville.
Yeah. He tried to stay, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, I'm sure he's fine in Jacksonville, but it would have been fun to have
Make
one
more money
year.
in Tennessee.
Exactly.
I will tell you what. I bet Tennessee felt that way too.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing a freshman quarterback now, so you'd much rather have the experienced Joey Aguilar, but didn't turn out that way.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Frank. We shall be listening.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah, so the lay of the land, I haven't been obviously to Tampa because the SEC Media Days hasn't been there before, but when it was in Hoover, so you walk inside and like Frank said, there's the mall that's on the backside, but you walk into basically like a hotel kind of thing, like a conference area. And then all the tables for Radio Row were all together. So when someone famous, like a Nick Saban would come in, it would go from just the radio people working to then a mob of people. So security, and then you'd have the fans kind of yelling out. Obviously, then they're in Alabama, a ton of Alabama fans. But yeah, always like surrounded by security. And then Saban would only do, and I think Kirby's kind of like this too. I'm sure most of them are nowadays, but they only do like the 1 or 2 radio stations. Like some coaches are like, I got all day. Like,
let's talk.
Who wants me? Like, I'll stop in. Greg Sankey will do that over the next 4 days. The commissioner, he'll visit with as many radio stations as want him. But Nick Saban, one year, I remember, like, came to our table, and it was like,
we got Saban.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, this almost never happens. And he's a very precise guy. Like, they put the phone on the table with the clock.
Yeah.
And you're not going past the 8 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever they give. And that handler with Saban is right there staring at the phone.
We gotta go.
Who's the closest to that now? Kirby?
I would guess Kirby, but I mean,
Lane.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin's going to bring a lot of attention.
Well, he'll say some stuff too. You're definitely going to get some.
He might need security.
Right. Steve Sarkisian, maybe.
Okay,
just because Texas, obviously, Arch Manning and all that stuff. And then maybe who would be after that? Maybe like a Kalen DeBoer because he did win at Washington. And then, now is the Alabama head coach. But we'll certainly be following along with all the SEC Media Days storylines this week and appreciate Frank, Matt Hayes, and Jacob Simons down there in Tampa for holding down the fort. That'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, Jared Justice, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow. But don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show live from Tampa is next.
These boots are gonna walk all over you.
This is my crew. Joe C., Matt Hayes, and Leon Searcy.
Why does this sound so familiar?
They are XL Prime Time.
I knew it!
Noon to 2 weekdays.
Come on, group up.
On 1010 XL.
I'm Alan Tyre with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners Bill Pappas and Ken Rimley want to thank all of our clients, CPAs, attorneys, bankers, and real estate agents who refer us business every day. If you're ready to purchase, build, or refinance your home, call Trustline Mortgage, your hometown mortgage source since 1989. Call us today.